Hi, my name is Brett Laxon, and today I'm going to pay tribute to a gentleman that most people wouldn't see as a great role model, but through his sharing of his story, I was able to get sober and live a very good life today. Uh, the guy that I chose was Stephen Gilchrist Glover, better known as Steve-O. Steve-O was born in Wimbledon, moved to Brazil at the age of 6 months old, moved to Venezuela, moved to Canada, and then the United States. Steve-O's mom was an alcoholic, as was mine. Steve-O struggled a lot with his mom's alcoholism, as did I, and I carried a lot of that resentment towards my mom through most of my life. As time progressed, I began to get into drugs and alcohol and began to use that as a coping mechanism throughout my life, as did Steve-O. He states in his story that he became suicidal and ended up in a psych ward. And I had kind of the same journey of dealing with calls at work, with dealing with life in general. My son almost died in a tragic accident at our lake house, and spent a lot of time in the ICU. And the only way that I knew how to deal with it was with alcohol and pills. As time moved on, I had some calls at work, and it began to ruin my life. I finally hit a bottom on November 11th, 2021. I ended up in treatment, and I had seen Steve-O's story for many years. He's very open, very public with his story, how the journey of sobriety absolutely made him just such a better person. And I could never understand how the journey of alcoholism could make somebody a better person, because I was stuck in a place that was absolutely dark, ugly, painful, and I didn't know how to decipher any of my emotions at that point. Steve-O's journey ended in about 2008. I think it was March 10th, 2008, and he said that he had done about 600 whippets that day. On my journey, I had been drunk and using pills for about 6 days straight, and I just wanted to be done with life. I drove to work every day trying to think of how I could kill myself, and my kids wouldn't know, my wife wouldn't know, and it would look like an accident. As my journey into recovery went on, I saw Steve-O's story unfold in front of me in my own life. Sobriety has been absolutely the best journey I have ever been on. I have found peace and serenity that I never knew. I found a God that is full of grace and mercy that I never knew. I used to think that God was an earthly father, that when I was good, he loved me, and when I was bad, he punished me. I would have never found this God if I hadn't gone through rehab or entered the world of sobriety. And Steve-O always says, this is the only disease that when you treat it, you become a better version of yourself than you ever were before. And I've found that to be absolutely true. I now get to help people in recovery, help people get sober, and live the absolute best life that I have ever found. And he kind of has the same story. So I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.